The fact that it was loose and couldn't be picked up or rolled away, then they were able to do that. Yeah, that's.
I just thought that was a real aberration of the rule bill.
You know, I always have trouble, like on number 5, all the ones that are up against the fence by the freeway back there, like when you knock it back behind number 5 and you're right up against the fence. What's the official rule? I know it's no closer to the hole to get relief, but how far from the fence can you go?
Well, if you're playing by the rules of golf that say you play force, you should find it, the ball where it lies, you're not able to move away from a boundary fence. Boundary fences, you don't get relief from that, so you would have to play it there. Now, if you're playing, say, some sort of a local rule where you get 1 club length improvement, then you may move the ball from that point where it is 1 club length, no nearer the hole, but that still doesn't get you away from the fence, and you just got to figure out a way to hit it left-handed or backhanded or something like that.
I mean, like I said, like a 4th of July tournament, you know, if you're up against that fence,
You have to play it as it is.
you can't, you just have to take an unplayable line and then take a club length or 2 club lengths?
Well, that's a good point, John. Anytime you pay for relief, you get 2 club lengths. Okay. So if it's a penalty, you get 2 club lengths. If it's a free drop, for example, up against a cart trail, or you're dropping away from a cart shed or some, or the rain shelter, something like that, then you get free relief and 1 club length. But when you pay for it with a stroke, you get 2 club lengths. Yeah.
But now, in the case of an unplayable, don't you have to go back on your line of flight? I mean, from the hole?
In an unplayable lie, you may always go back to the point where you played your last shot. You can always go that far back if you want to. You get 2 club lengths from the point where the ball is unplayable, and you're the guy that declares it's unplayable. You don't have to ask anybody else. You can just say, this ball is unplayable. You get 2 club lengths there, or you may go as far back as you want to, keeping that point between you and the hole. But you've got to keep that point between you and the hole.
So if the green's here and the fence is parallel, there's no way you can go back.
Okay.
You'd have to go back to where you hit the ball.
All right, we'll show them the
like here's the green.
All right, there's the green. Okay, there's the green, there's the fence. Okay, where's the ball?
Up against the fence.
Okay, up against the fence. All right, but you've got a kind of a semicircle here of relief, so you could go 2 club lengths this way or 2 club lengths this way. You can't go in a straight line from here to here because that would be closer.
But you can actually go sideways.
Well, yeah, you can call it sideways, yeah.
Okay.
But you've got to picture a concentric circle around this hole.
The radius of the circle.
Okay.
The radius of the circle.
Okay.
We've got an educated man, Frank, in our... the radius of the circle, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, when they have a tournament, they mark a lot of things as out of bounds or that relief with the tape. But when we're out there playing and betting a quarter a hole, like between 6 and 7, you get on those rocks, you don't want to, I mean, what's the rule in there? I mean, can you move out of those rocks if they usually are marked when there's a tournament going on?
Sue, the answer is if it's marked with a white line and it's ground under repair, then you may move it. But if it's not marked and you're playing by the rules of golf, then you have to hit them out of there. You can move all the loose rocks, but you still have to hit it out of there. You wouldn't want to do it. I mean, we give everybody relief around here away from rocks, and that's the way it should be. We don't tear up our
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So if you're out there playing with the nooners,
Our local rule is you move it.
you move it. What about if you go into the water? There's no drop zone or anything down there on 14.
Okay, on 14, now is that a red mark?
It's red.
It's red. Okay, and this brings up a good point of understanding the difference in the way a yellow line is played and a red line is played. If it's a yellow hazard, it's a water hazard. And a red line is a lateral hazard. And your options are different. In a yellow hazard, you must always keep the point where it last crossed the margin of the hazard between you and the hole. So if you could imagine the water coming all the way around the pool, not just being inside.
Let's do another one.
Okay,
Number 18
yes.
is a hazard. It's usually marked with a yellow line or a
Okay.
turn. So if you get over it and it comes back in, that'd be your situation, I think.
Okay, in that situation, if it's yellow, you have to play it back on the tee side. You may, just because it crossed over and came back in, doesn't allow you to go across the ditch. Now, if that were red marks and you had crossed over and fell back in, then you could play it on the other side.
But how do they play 18? I thought it was red.
I think it's marked yellow.
Bobby, 18 in the tournament, is it, the creek, is it red or yellow? It's yellow.
Yeah.
So that's played as a water hazard.
Yellow is more restrictive than red. In a red stake, which is a lateral hazard, not necessarily water, but it's a lateral hazard, you can go to, and if it's running, say, parallel to the fairway, you can go on either side of the hazard. You can take relief on either side of the hazard. So, let me see, we don't have anything like that.
Number two.
Number two.
Down the edge, there's a ditch.
Okay, down the edge of this ditch, okay? If you
Now,
go
is that
in-
red?
It's red, I think.
It's red.
But it's a lateral hazard.
It's a lateral hazard, so you may go
If you
either
hit,
side.
if you hit into, on the fairway and it rolls into the ditch,
You go back up on the fairway?
can you go back up on the fairway or do you go across to the left side of the hazard?
Frank, it's your option. You may go to either side of it because it's red. So you may take relief to either side, 2 club lengths where the ball lasts across the margin of the hazard. Yeah.
Even if it goes, takes you closer to the pin?
Well, it should not take you closer to the hole.
Well,
Okay.
they would on number.
Well, if you came back though,
You'd have to come back a
you
little
have to
bit.
come back.
You have to come back a
So
little
if it
bit.
goes in, so if it's sitting there next to the cart path, so it comes out of the thing and sitting there in that little, like, what is it, 2 feet?
Yeah.
Sitting on the cart, you get relief from the cart path. Do you have to go on the other side of the cart path, or can you go back on the other, into the fairway?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
You have cross cart path.
you don't have to play from the cart trail, so you can drop farther away than the 2 club lengths because you get relief from the club.
But you have to go on the other side of the cart path because there's no, really, you can't.
Yeah, there's no room in there.
There's no room in there.
Yeah.
So you go on the other side, or can you go back up on the fairway you're supposed to be playing?
Well, you can't go very far back up because you only got 2 club lengths. So even though it's like this, and say the red line is,
Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Yay!
What hole?
Bobby.
Yeah.
Yellow. Okay.
Let me draw one more. All right. Yeah, that always got me is on that number.
On number 2?
Yeah, because of the way it's set up.
Well, it's sloped like this, but wherever the margin is, wherever the stakes are, or wherever the red line is, you only get 2 club lengths there. The 2 club lengths don't carry you all the way up to the flat. You just don't get to go that far.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me that actually, and this could be completely wrong, that you set up where you could be comfortable, and somewhere you could be comfortable or out of the ditch, then you have the 2 club lengths. But is it actually then 2 club lengths from the ditch itself?
From the line.
It is.
You don't get comfort, doesn't get to come into it. Mine should, but it doesn't. Yeah.
So, you got a water hazard on this side, and over here you've got an out of bounds. So if you get into the woods, you have to start back at the tee box.
That's right.
You can't come 2 clubs out of the woods.
That's correct.
You're not in a hazard. You're out of bounds. You're out of play.
Can you ever play the ball out of bounds, or you always have to take it?
No, and not only can you not play it out of bounds, you're disqualified if you do.
Oh, right. In other words, if you hit a ball from on top of that little hill, right where the mistakes are, if it stops on top of that hill, you can see it, and you go up there and hit it, and you're on the outside of the stake.
If you're in
You have to
a
be
tournament
deemed out of bounds.
situation, you would be out of bounds.
And you would be disqualified if you hit wrong.
And yes, you can hit it out of the ditch on number 13. If you go into 13 and then you think you can hit it out of the ditch there.
May I interject something, Ralph? Certainly.
Yeah.